The new township community hall was full, and uneasy silence prevailed. The only sound that could be heard with so many people in the room was in fact the fan spinning. A lady on the first row broke the silence and said, "Mr. President, what are we waiting for? Why don't we proceed with the association meeting?" A hesitant president cleared his throat as if he wasn't expecting to be talking anytime soon and said, "Welcome to all the residents of this township. We have convened this meeting on a weekend evening to discuss about an important issue involving the owner of the S1 apartment in B block. I thought it would be best to include him in this discussion as we don't believe in unilateral decisions. Also, not all the concerned parties are here, and that is why I'm waiting to start the meeting." The guy in the room, presumably the neighbor of the S1 apartment, spoke. "Why waste any more time? We will cover for the ones who are not here." Now the lady joined voices and said, "S2 owner is right. There is no point in waiting any longer. The S1 apartment owner's pet dog is a nuisance to everyone in this township, and it should be banished from this community right away," revealing the issue being discussed. Now a guy with a mustache chimed in, saying, "That doesn't sound feasible. This community was advertised as pet-friendly, and a lot of owners who reside here have pets. The behavior of one pet cannot decide the fate of all the pets in this community." Now the S2 owner, the neighbor that is, said, "We're not blaming all the pets. It is just the one at the S1 apartment that is troubling others. My mother slipped and fell due to the water splashed by that dog at the swimming pool, and when I went for her rescue, this dog tried to attack me as well. Would other pets behave like this?" The lady narrated another incident involving this dog. "There is a stray cat in this community. I saw this dog trying to drown that cat in the lake a few days ago. Had I not intervened, this dog would have killed the cat for sure." Now the president looked at the owner of the S1 apartment and the dog and said, "What is your opinion about these incidents, sir?" The S1 owner, who looked pretty calm, said, "These incidents look one-sided. Let me try to explain what might have actually happened. I was walking my dog this morning when he escaped my grip and started running towards the community pool. He doesn't usually do such stuff, so I followed him, and I could see that the old lady was lying unconscious on the floor. The dog must have recognized her as our neighbor, and since I was still a fair distance away from them, it ran to the neighbor directly, who was near the motor room, and tried to alert him about this incident. My dog didn't enter the swimming pool. The water must have been splashed by someone else who took bath earlier." Now the neighbor said, "How could someone have taken a dip at the pool before the opening time? Besides, by the time the two of us reached, there were only my mom and your dog over there, and my mom doesn't swim. She has sustained an injury to the head and is still resting at home. Your dog is the one to be blamed." Now the dog owner explained, "My dog is a Labrador. They love to swim, but ever since I warned him not to, he hasn't been to the swimming pool. That is how obedient he is, and he wouldn't have hurt your mother. He must have sensed that your mother was in trouble, and he was only trying to alert you about it. Also, there wasn't a drop of water on his coat this morning." By now, the lady who spoke earlier was becoming irritated with her restless son, who was not sitting idle on her lap. She yelled at the kid, and almost with the same tone of voice, continued talking to the owner of the dog. "When I rescued the cat from the lake the other day, your dog promptly followed me, sprayed all the water on its coat over me arrogantly. Maybe he used the same tactic this morning, and maybe that is why he was not wet." The owner assured that if the dog had taken a swim, him and the neighbor would have noticed for sure. The lady continued, "So what do you have to say about the incident at the lake? How do you explain the actions of your dog as innocent?" The owner responded, saying, "Labradors are instinctively inclined to help anyone struggling to stay afloat in water. I have noticed that the cat has the habit of sitting in one of the branches of a huge tree on the bank of the lake. The cat must have gone after a chipmunk or a bird and must have fallen into the lake. My dog would have jumped in to save him from the water, as Labradors usually do. I don't see any harm in that. Now the lady said, "That is just you supporting your dog blindly. What happened to the cat the other day might happen to anyone in this community. Besides, your dog is just acting nice now, and when you're not around, the devil in it comes out." The president intervened and said, "Ma'am, let's avoid personal comments and get to the point, please." By now, her son sitting on her lap had become quite restless, and she let him down and continued talking. "Fine, Mr. President. This community has a lot of kids playing around. As long as this dog is roaming around, it is a threat to all those kids. Besides, should something go wrong, you will be the one to get blamed as the president of this community." The dog owner wasn't convinced with the argument, so he asked, "Ma'am, could you please elaborate on what happened on the lake that day?" The lady said, "Just like I said, your dog was trying to drown the cat. Had I not intervened, the cat would have died." The owner asked, "How exactly did you intervene?" The lady replied that she dragged the cat out of the lake. The owner asked, "Ma'am, you usually wear a gown, right? Were you wearing one when you went to the lake too?" This time the neighbor interfered and said, "This is an impertinent question." But the lady dismissed it, saying, "That is okay. I was wearing a gown when I went to the lake." The dog owner continued, "Did you step into the lake to rescue the cat?" The lady thought for a few seconds and responded, "No, I did not." The owner asked, "Then how did you save the drowning cat if you didn't step in the lake?" This question caught the lady off guard. She had to think for a moment and then answer, "Your dog arrogantly kicked the cat, and the cat floated toward me, and that is when I grabbed it and took it out of the water." The owner concluded that this is clearly a rescue effort that has been misunderstood. Now the lady got offended. She turned to her husband, who was sitting beside her, and yelled, "Are you just gonna sit here and let someone accuse me of lying?" The dog started growling. The neighbor added fuel to the fire by saying, "How could you call her a liar?" Now the guy with the mustache intervened and said, "He never said anyone lied. He only said the rescue effort was misunderstood." Now the lady turned to the mustache guy and asked sarcastically, "Are you pet owners forming a club?" To which the guy with the mustache responded, "Well, if we do, you're not welcome." An argument ensued. At that moment, the dog started barking. The owner didn't understand why, but he shushed the dog. Thankfully, the complaining people were busy arguing and didn't notice the dog's bark. The president requested everyone to be calm. At that moment, the community hall door flung open. A man entered the room apologizing for the delay. The president started saying, "Welcome, teacher," when the dog sprinted towards the guy. He was startled by this and tried to move out of the way, but he slipped and fell on the carpet. The dog jumped over him and went for the door that was soon closing behind him and left the community hall in a hurry. The now embarrassed school teacher stood up, dusted his shirt, and started complaining to the dog owner. "Your dog entered the school premises during year-end exams and caused a lot of ruckus. It even entered the classroom I was in and met with your daughter. It is a distraction and danger to all the children in the school. If you can't hold on to your pet's leash, then why bother having one?" The dog owner was hurt by this statement. He said, "This is the first time I'm hearing about this incident, and let me ask my daughter about it." By now, the lady, the neighbor, and a few others started blaming the dog owner for his dog's behavior. We all saw what it did to the teacher right here when the owner was present. We can only imagine what would happen when he is not around. The dog owner was trying to make sense of what just happened. He knows that his dog is obedient, but why did he put him in such a difficult situation? At that moment, the community hall door flung open once again. This time, a security guard came running in and announced that a kid had fallen into the swimming pool. The lady, who was busy complaining so far, suddenly realized that her son was missing and turned to her husband and asked, "Where is our kid?" Everyone came running out of the community hall and near the swimming pool. When the lady realized her kid was missing, she too came running out, but the pool was surrounded by a crowd. It is a mystery how a mother gets so much strength when her maternal instinct kicks in. She steered through the crowd with seemingly no effort. When she reached the cusp of the swimming pool, what she witnessed was too much for her to process. She instantly passed out and fell right into the swimming pool. The dog owner, who just found his way through the crowd, dove right in. What did the mother witness? Find out in the next episode.